Welcome back. And Emily is back.
Hi.
And she's going to help me explore KapTar today.
Reptar?
What's Reptar?
Have you ever seen Rugrats?
I have not, in fact, ever seen Rugrats.
You didn't watch Rugrats as a kid?
No.
Oh, it was like one of the best kid shows ever. On Nickelodeon. And Reptar was this dinosaur they liked.
Oh, okay.
Someone will know what I'm talking about.
Someone will, no doubt. I don't. I didn't watch everything. We got power working. And walked through the dome wall to get here, which, according to the map, is on the opposite side of the big temple. Presumably this will take us there. Since we've already been there, we don't know what that will accomplish, but we'll see. And... oh, I still can't move this? Oh, there we go. To move my mouse left. And we're moving. Oh, look, there goes the thing that was in there. And, not surprisingly, that takes us up here.
I don't remember this level at all.
Well, then everything will be new for you again.
Why don't I remember this one?
I don't know. You were probably sleeping.
Quite possibly. No, it could have been when I was getting motion sickness and
It's possible,
I
too.
looked away.
So we're now back on this side, which is a lot louder than it was last time because everything's turned on now. So we can use this to go back and forth. That's not very useful because we could already get here, but what did happen is that the thing that was hanging down there now moved to the other side, meaning it should have unblocked us from getting into the temple. Let's check that out.
The Temple of Doom.
Hopefully not. I'm not quite ready to eat monkey brains right now. Or, like, deal with creepy insects and get my heart torn out.
That was the Kalimar one, right?
Yes, it was.
It's only one I remember. I was like 8 years old when I watched that.
It's a good movie to watch when you're 8. Alright, go back through here. Down here. Is there a flag above this? Well, there is a bunch of them. Because there's a lot of skills here. I want to take one, they're so pretty.
Do we know what the point of using the skills for flags is yet?
I'm assuming it's just decorative.
Yeah, if there even is a point.
They're pretty, so...
You're just calling them scales, though. You don't really know if they're scales.
No, well, they look like scales. I'm guessing they're from the fish. And now we can go up here. And we're inside the Temple of Doom. You can really clearly see that these things are made from the scales when you get up close to them.
What scales?
The same ones that are on the floor.
I see.
Let's see what else is here. We should be able to do something here. Oop, there's a tunnel.
I like the music in this game.
I do too. There's not much of it, much like Wisdom Riven. That door's locked. And it was written by Robin Miller, just like Mr. Riven.
Oh, my BFF.
Yes. Too bad you weren't with me at Mysterium.
Ah! I could have met him. Oh, man. Is he married?
I believe so. What is this? Drawing of something. Can't really make out what they're depicting here. Oh, tree! Of course I can't just jump down here, that would be too easy. Probably a good thing too, I would miss other important stuff. That's a dead end. Can we actually go anywhere from this temple? That is the question. Otherwise it's kind of for nothing. I mean, it's pretty to look at, but... Aha! Oh. Well, that's a disappointment.
What did you think that was?
I don't know. I thought it was a staircase leading somewhere. It did, in fact, lead nowhere. How about this?
That's interesting.
Another piece of somewhere else. Oh, so this planet did have water. So maybe that's where the fish were. Although they look a lot bigger than that they would fit in that pond. Safe to drink? I don't know. I guess that's all in the temple. So let's keep going.
Adventure game characters don't ever need to eat or drink or use the bathroom either, do they?
No, they don't. Unless you're in a survival game.
Right.
Although I don't think I've ever seen a survival game that actually has you use the bathroom. That would be interesting.
Nancy Drew uses the
Whoa.
bathroom. Whoa. It looks like a giant fish.
Are those the fish? Either this whole place was underwater, or those fish were the flying creatures. Flying fish, I guess.
That's creepy.
Okay, so those hooks we saw were used to catch the flying creatures, as the journal said, and they were in fact those fish, and they're gigantic. They're like bigger than warks.
Bigger than what?
The fish from Riven.
Oh. Oh. Yeah.
They're like whale-sized things. Damn. So yeah, I'm pretty convinced that the skin of these things is what they used to make the flags.
I see.
They must have used them for other purposes as well, because this entire gigantic contraption to catch these huge things would be a bit pointless if all you got from it was some pretty scales to make flags. And now some Arai live here. So according to the journal, the civilization that actually built the mechanical contraptions and caught these things used the Arai, or Befriends, as bait. So that wasn't very nice of them, especially considering we know the Arai are sentient. They have like finger-like bone structures, but those may have been fins. We see that in like whales on Earth as well. They have finger-like bones in their fins.
I've heard you also see them in the crocoduck.
Yes, exactly. Google that if you don't know what it is. It's hilarious. Wow. This thing was big. I guess maybe they ate it, or maybe it had like... Well, if it flies, I wouldn't expect it to have like a big blubber layer like whales do. And that goes nowhere. Well, it makes for a very impressive visual for us anyway.
Maybe they rode them.
That would be impressive. It's a shame I don't think any living ones are inside this little dome. They would probably die pretty quickly even if they were. Don't see where they would get their food around here. Because that would be impressive to see. As long as they're not carnivorous. Because, well, I guess if they're using the eri as bait, maybe they were carnivorous.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe it's a good thing there aren't any living ones here. As impressive as it would have been. Hey.
Oh, that looks like something. You can go through that, can't you?
That's the cell wall, isn't it? It is. Is there anything else on that side? Or is this the end of the road? It is the end of the road. So I guess we have to go here. I kind of lost track of where we are. I should have taken a picture of that map. But as long as it's all just paths leading only one way, I guess we don't really need to keep track of where we are. One criticism here is this age all looks very similar. I keep calling them ages. This isn't Mist, damn it. I mean, it's an interesting looking place, but it's very grey. Anything over here? No. So I guess they used those hooks over there. Although the thing they actually caught the big fish on was a lot bigger. But I guess these hooks were part of the contraption. Not a very nice thing of them to do.
So this was obviously filled with water before.
Well, no, because it said flying creatures in the journal, so...
They didn't live in water?
I guess they did not live in water.
Okay, that's interesting.
It makes me wonder how big their fins actually were. Maybe they did live in water somewhere nearby, but could also fly? I don't know. If anybody in the audience is an evolutionary biologist and could explain how such a thing might work, that would be interesting. Ooh, what do we have here? Another swap machine. And more flags. You'd think you'd be able to see myself in that, but... Oh, that's the sound the flags make that we've been hearing. It's the scales ringing against each other. So much attention to detail in this game. A swap machine. Where does this go? This does not look like Hunrath. Let's find out. Green. Interesting. The ones that go to Hunrath all appear to be yellow. Well, and going here, they were blue. This one's green.
I'm excited.
Let's see where it goes. And how long it takes to load. These ones typically aren't that bad. Aha! We're back in Morray.
Ah, my favorite.
Uh-huh. Nice jungle place. Oh, that's the door we got stuck on before. Oh, and a tiny number panel.
Yeah, that looks pretty simple.
With the number 3 on it, if you remember.
Now, if you didn't know that,
At this point, you could go back and...
you'd have to go all the way back.
Yeah, although this one is very easy to guess. It doesn't look like there's anything else here. Just that little panel. And the swap machine. Can't go down from here. Which is annoying. Okay, let's see what we can do with this. Hitting the button does nothing. Alright, let's put a different number in there.
1.
Let's try 2 first. I'm just gonna count down. That's 2, I think. Oh! Part of the door disappeared. It now looks glowing. Don't know if you could walk through that. The answer is no, you can't. I actually tried. You have to make quite a detour to figure that out. But
Oh, yeah, we did do that, didn't we?
yeah.
I remember that.
Let's try 1.
Oh.
Oh, even less.
So 0?
And there's still some structure blocking our way. So let's try 0. And the door's gone.
Now, what if you just try 0 from the beginning?
Then you would have gotten rid of the door. And you would... Well, you kind of miss out on a tiny piece of information you can use to solve a later puzzle, but you don't really need it.
So if you put in 0, the whole thing disappears.
Yeah.
I see.
So it doesn't really matter. You can go straight back to 2 and we'll get the...
Is this
glowing
an
one
arbitrary
back.
puzzle?
It's not really arbitrary.
Is there, like, how would you logically figure that out?
Just trying the numbers. Yeah.
Okay.
I guess it's arbitrary in that sense, but it is kind of also teaching you something that you'll need later.
Okay.
And it's our first use of the numbers that we figured out. Now, of course, in order to actually go through this door, we need to go back to KapTar, then back to Hunrath, back to the swap machine that takes us to the beginning of Morray, and then we can go through there. So, as much as I know Emily would love to hang out here, we're not going to yet. Oh, there's a laser here too. I don't know if I noticed that last time. We're just going to go back to KapTar and finish up there. Blue. So blue is definitely for going to KapTar. And actually the one that we originally used to go to Morray the first time was also green. So they are in fact color-coded. That is not important, but it's something I noticed. It's a little piece of Morray here, so some part of KapTar is currently in Morray. Of course, we could... No, we could not. There's no way for us to swap this back and then see what actually is here. Because once we do that, the only way to get back is to use this, which swaps it back. So there's no way to do that. Must presumably have used a different way to get there to set this thing up. Maybe we can see the little sphere of KapTar when we're in Morray down there. We'll keep an eye out for that. Anyway, we came from below, so let's keep going up. More views of hooks. More of the weird glowing things.
Do we know what those are? Are they eggs?
No, I don't know exactly. They might be.
Where those bee
Or maybe
things grow?
Maybe. Maybe there's some kind of mineral. Could be a food source for them. Well, the path is pretty one-directional, so I'll just keep going. Oh, we're on the wall here again. No way to get there by the looks of it. I'm sure if I had that map I could see where I was going, but also sure it's not that important. Oh. That takes me nowhere. Well, I guess we're swapping again. To Hunraft, judging by the color. Which hopefully is still loaded, so hopefully it won't take too long.
So now we can go back to Morray from Hunrath.
We could, but we're not going to.
Great.
Want to finish KapTar first.
I see.
Where are we? Oh. That's new. Paintings of KapTar. Backer reward items, not surprisingly. Can look at them, but they don't really serve any purpose usually. Oh. No. I just want to turn it. There we go. Can I? No, I cannot turn the key. Fascinating. What is this thing? Creepy.
Oh, looks like the little alien from Toy Story.
Oh yeah, kind of. Don't know what that's supposed to be. Maybe they are from something else, I don't know. Somebody lived here.
Cute.
It's a samurai meerkat. That makes sense. And a toy boat. Oh, it's a candle boat. Lots of books here that we can't look at.
The hell?
That looks like the stuff from KapTar. Maybe these
Looks
are
like
just
a person. Or like like a thing wearing pants. Or am I totally just seeing nonsense?
I think you're seeing patterns that aren't there. I think they're just having this here as a light source.
Oh, right. Oh, the things that look like where the bees grew or whatever.
So I guess that means they're not eggs because...
No, obviously not.
Hi there, I just have a giant portrait of a bird above my bed.
CF.
It's a little music box. Oh. Well. Does it affect how long it plays? Looks like it does. Some gems and some jewelry. Nothing of use.
CF.
CF?
Chris Farley.
Caroline Farley. Pretty sure that the Chris Farley joke was made very often by Cyan during the development of this game. Can't imagine they wouldn't. That's, I don't know what that is. A black hole? And looks like we have some reading to do. 15,997 AH, which I think means after Hunrath. The Villain, I can't find the words. It's such a foreign life cycle, or perhaps not. They launch themselves across the expanse of space, preserved for eons, until at last their technological arcs can hone in and carry them to a new home. They have no connection with their predecessors, but in spite of this, perhaps because of this, they have amazing recollections of their history. Their stories are epic, reaching back through the eons. Unlike many of us who were abducted, they were abducted as a whole. Their scoop moved an entire facility that was about to be annihilated. I've come to believe that they, perhaps more than any of us, have a deeper understanding of whatever this strange system is that we find ourselves in. 16,333 AH. I need to write this down. We buried G. Eon today. This place never really agreed with her. Kept to herself mostly, depressed and downcast. Anyway, I digress. I stayed after the brief words were spoken. I was the last to leave. I wandered to the dome, as I often do, and looked out at the undulating saurian weirdness beyond the cell wall. Movement caught my eye. Now, on very rare occasions, we've seen Mofang scrambling about in the distance, but there have been fewer and fewer sightings over the years. But before me was a tall, haggard Mofang running desperately, almost directly toward me from one of the distant structures. It, I still can't tell the gender, got closer and closer. I thought it would see me and stop, or turn around, or be curious about this strange dome and our world inside it. But it continued running quickly, almost directly to my position. I was frozen in place with curiosity, until my reflexes took over at the last moment and I leapt out of the way. But rather than hit the dome and fall backward, or come through into Hunrath, the dome flashed its familiar tone, and the Mofang vanished. I was stunned for a bit, but I retrieved my wits and stepped into the dome myself to quickly get to the other side. After getting through, I immediately turned around and saw the Mofang outside on the other side of the dome, still running away from whatever it feared. But as if it had no sense of passing around the dome. As surprising as the event was, it did serve to settle a few things in my mind. I always wondered how no one on Earth noticed what had replaced this chunk of Arizona we have here. 16,772 AH. I've got to vent. Again, there are those who argue with me. Over and over I demonstrate that in almost every case, whatever the process was that brought us here, it occurred at a pivotal moment. They tell their stories and they still can't admit that the abduction actually saved each of us, all of us. What is it in human nature that grasps so strongly to the past that we blame our saviors for stealing it from us? Okay, just one more vent before bed. If each of us was individually saved from something, then maybe all of us were corporately saved from something larger. Can we really be sure what's left? And the arrivers come from various places and times. Sarah got here almost 15 years ago from the year 2055. And Uziel, I think, got there 2.5 years ago from 1942. What does that mean? Time here is shuffled and chaotic compared to Earth. What state is Earth in right now? When is Earth right now? 16,787. It's 3:15 a.m., and I feel compelled to journal this craziness. After spending most of yesterday meditating with the Arai, and then most of this evening discussing the nature of these worlds with CW, I had just a sip of infamous Hunrath hooch and collapsed in my chair. Well, I just awoke from a dream. I'm not one who puts a lot of credibility in dreams, but maybe the Arai were able to move something in me to understand, or possibly because of the intense discussion my subconscious mind was triggered to be able to sort out some logical connections. Or maybe it was the hooch. The dream. I was tending a garden, An immense garden. And it wasn't for food or flowers. It was just about the health of the garden. I kept working and working to control it and contain it and make it healthier. But the garden seemed to fight me at every turn. And after what seemed like days of work, I finally gave up in frustration. And as I stood there, doing nothing, the garden flourished before my eyes, growing and spreading in every direction. Because, I realized, the system that the plants were based on was not about me shaping and controlling. The natural system of plants is healthier when they are out of control, when they are free to spread and intermingle and cross-pollinate and mutate. Now, from a human point of view, that may not provide what I want. I get smaller fruit and smaller flowers and untidiness. But from the point of view of the plants, they grow stronger and much more resilient and resistant. The more they are scattered, the higher their odds of surviving. And now that I contemplate, I realize that even the individual plants or seeds may not appreciate the benefit of what's happening. They are torn far from their origins, forced into situations that seem extreme, possibly even destroyed by these new environments. But for the seeds that survive, the seeds that survive. Now that's where the real growth, strength, and abundance comes from. It's so beautiful and terrifying. Beyond the beauty of it all is a system and structure that defies understanding. Okay, what if this is all a natural process? There are signs of something behind it all, but well-hidden signs. So, well, if I look at all of this, the cell, the tree, the water, the seeds, the hub, the health, even the abductions, well, there seems to be a grand system or plan. The plan doesn't take me into account. It is unemotionally intent on the health of something much bigger. That may hurt my feelings, but, well, what am I in the entire scheme of the universe? I have no idea what, if anything, might have put this process into motion, but that is irrelevant. Tomorrow I will talk with CW. He could be swayed from his battery plan. 17,145 AH. I don't really journal much. I came to write this down because I am distraught. As I contemplate the plan that I have set in motion, I realize that I have become the destroyer of worlds. I sat down to write, to seek some cathartic tranquilization, and realized the last thing I journaled was some esoterically beautiful philosophy about letting this garden grow. Not so reaffirming or calming. But nevertheless, here's my reasoning, because I must write this down. Simply, it's us or them. Complexly, if this is some kind of garden, and we're the plants or seeds or whatever, well, some of us have gotten together and decided that we're the better choice to survive. If the others have unilaterally decided that we all won't survive. I am more fit, damn it! This is not me. I want to be calm and garden or ungarden or grow or... What gives one species the right to destroy another species? Who gets to choose? Do I just lay down and die because the more aggressive species thinks they're better, more powerful? What brutal skill do I use to measure the good of some against the life of others? Does love ever destroy? In order to help more survive? To help love itself to survive? Does that even make sense? Can I kill because I think it will bring about more love? What if I'm not even capable of understanding the situation, of hate versus love? Maybe I am the hater. Do I generate this love delusion to help me maintain my sanity in light of the choice I have made? My God, it's too much. If these are just my walls of delusion, then I choose to live within them. I am a seed, scattered by the wind. But I will not simply be trampled. I will kick and scream and survive. May God have mercy on my soul. Okay, a lot of information in here. Some interesting things. I think this is written by Farley, who was ruminating about the nature of this place we're in and the purpose it serves. Probably the first interesting thing to note there is that she referred to the outside of the dome as Soria and the people that live there as Mofang. Which is interesting because we know there is another dome that is a part of Soria. That's how they met the Mofang here. So what that suggests is that Earth and Mofang were swapped. So presumably a piece of Soria is now on Earth in Arizona. Apparently invisible if what happened with the Mofang that ran through this dome is any indication. Farley is also wondering what happened on Earth, and if it's true that they were all saved by being brought here, then maybe going back home wouldn't be the greatest idea. That's what she's talking about when she said CW could be dissuaded from his battery plan, because that's what CW is trying to do. He's building this giant battery to basically build a big version of the swap machine. We already saw parts of it over the tree, which he hopes will be able to bring them home. But with the garden analogy, Farley was basically saying, maybe that's not a good idea. Maybe we should let this thing play out the way it's supposed to, naturally, let the trees come to fruition, because maybe that is the thing that will guarantee survival. Of course, it's a question we might be able to answer if we knew what was going on back on Earth right now, but we don't, so it's a difficult thing, because of course it's natural for CW or anyone else here to want to go home. I mean, I'd want to go home. But Farley seems to question whether that's the right thing to do. And the last bit she wrote was about the Mofang conflict. It seems that the Mofang decided that this whole system of bubbles of worlds that were brought together isn't the way forward. They seem to have decided that they are more worthy of survival than the Villain and the humans and the Eri, and apparently decided to exterminate them. And Farley is wondering that in fighting back, she may end up exterminating the Mofang, and whether that is actually the right thing to do. She's wondering if maybe she's the bad guy in this situation, but has decided to just assume she's not, which is probably the right thing to do, at least if you want to survive. So lots of stuff here, lots of subtext that may be hard to digest, especially on a first playthrough. I know I didn't get everything I just told you just from reading that the first time. But definitely very interesting, and we'll see what else is around here in the next video.